And Julianne, if you could just let us know when you see it on YouTube, and then we can start.
Must be on there.
It's a fridge. It's a fridge.
Oh. I've never noticed that before.
Julianne, that should be showing by now. And you're good to go.
Thank you. Welcome to the public information meeting for an application by Greg Burke for proposed amendments to the municipal planning strategy and land use bylaw. The purpose of this meeting is to share information regarding the proposal and to hear initial input from the public. No decisions will be made this evening. There are no members of the public registered to join this meeting through Zoom. There are councillors who have chosen to attend this meeting. To those who have chosen to watch or attend this meeting, welcome. If you wish to ask a question or make a comment, there are three options. 1, you may enter your question or comment using the Q&A feature. 2, you may enter your name in the Zoom chat feature and we will enable you to share your microphone and video when it is your turn. And 3, for those viewing on the YouTube live stream, you may use the YouTube comment feature, which is being monitored. Please note, the chat feature on Zoom is not being monitored for questions and comments. We will try to answer questions in order. However, if a question has already been addressed, we will not repeat it. Every effort will be made to ensure all questions are answered. Please note that Council's procedural policy requires that those in attendance to refrain from using disrespectful language and behaviors that may disrupt or hinder this meeting. And now I'll introduce the panel. My name is Debbie Uloff. I'm the project planner and I'll be the chair of the meeting this evening. The manager of planning, Rachel Gilbert, will be doing the presentation on behalf of staff. Julian Cashin is our communications officer and she'll be handling the questions. And Greg and Angela Burke are the applicants. And if you want to just give a wave there.
Hi guys.
So we'll start off with the presentation from Rachel Gilbert on the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. So the subject property is located at 541 and 543 on Highway 2 in Elmsdale. And you can see on the map there the outlined property in yellows identified as subject property. There is 2 civic addresses, but it is just one property. So right now the property is designated and zoned mixed use centre. And there is a small area of the property to the rear and the side, which is zoned high-risk floodplain. And hopefully you can see my pointer here, but the floodplain is just around the side. And this is the high-risk floodplain. And then we have a small area of moderate risk floodplain just in the hatched area. Also to the rear of the property is a CN rail line. And there are 3 existing buildings on the property. And in those 3 buildings, there are 5 commercial tenants. So the purpose of the application is to enable a new self-storage buildings on the rear portion of the property. The applicant has indicated that they are also considering a mixed-use building, which will be phase 2 to replace the existing smaller buildings on the property. This building will have to comply with the regulations for the mixed-use centre zone, and staff have not evaluated whether the mixed-use building meets the mixed-use centre zone regulations. And so because of this, there may be some changes to the site plan as a result of that review. Just to kind of show you on the aerial photography here, this is the 2 existing buildings. You can just see him with my pointer. So these are proposed to be replaced if the phase 2 building goes ahead. And this area to the rear of the property is where the self-storage buildings are proposed. This building here with the red roof is proposed to remain in place. So you can see the site plan here. And these buildings here that I'm identifying with my pointer are the self-storage buildings. And then we have the phase 2 building up front here. So I know although I did say we haven't assessed it in detail, but we have, I have identified some things that are going to need to have that discussion with the applicant about potential amendments. This building here, the setback from the property boundary, that in terms of the parking, we'll take a look at whether the parking meets the land use bylaw. And then there's floodplain zoning to the rear of the property here, and the buildings need to be outside of that floodplain. And also there is a setback required from the CN rail line that's in our land use bylaw. So we'll have that discussion with the applicant, and so this plan may change. So the mixed-use centre designation zone, the purpose is to allow for a diverse mixture of medium-density commercial businesses and residential uses in an environment servicing both pedestrian and vehicle needs, with an aesthetically pleasing, socially interactive streetscape. Self-storage uses don't fit within the intent of this mixed-use centre designation zone, and they're a use which is not aesthetically pleasing and does not create a socially interactive streetscape. They're a use which does not meet the goal of fostering a consistent, walkable, medium-scale growth pattern, and planning staff therefore have concerns about introducing new self-storage facilities into the MC designation and zone. However, this use will not front onto Highway number 2, as it's located to the rear of the property, which still enables the front of the property to maintain the socially interactive streetscape. The area of land proposed for the self-storage is located along the CN rail line, which isn't ideal necessarily for any residential units or mixed-use units. So there is an opportunity to enable the development which may not be compatible with the mixed-use centre designation zone without compromising the ability of the property to have compatible uses fronting onto Highway number 2. So there is an option to redesignate and rezone the rear portion of the property to highway commercial. And this was the original request by the applicant, but planning staff did not recommend this approach as it provides no control over the use, type of use or development, and its compatibility with the surrounding mixed-use centre properties. So one option would be to amend the policies and regulations to enable highway commercial uses to be considered through a development agreement. And staff are recommending that to enable this, the goal and the intent of the mixed-use centre designation and zone be realised on the front portion of the properties, that the ability for highway commercial zone uses be only considered on the back portion, which backs onto the CN rail line. Policies be developed so that Planning Advisory Committee and Council can review the compatibility of the uses to make sure that it's compatible with the area, and for it to be considered for a development agreement which enables to consider the details of the proposal. So the terms and details of the development can be agreed between the developer and council, and this provides some certainty to the community and council as to what will be developed on the property. And the self-storage use is not permitted as of right in the highway commercial zone. So the policies and regulations would need to include that as an additional use. So just to try and explain what I mean by that is there are certain uses listed in the highway commercial zone which are permitted as of right. So through these proposed amendments to the policy, we would say that the mixed-use centre zone through a development agreement would allow that list of highway commercial zone uses, but we'd also need to list the self-storage use in addition to those which are permitted as of right in the highway commercial zone. So this map here just identifies some potential properties that this policy and regulations could apply to, identifying that the CN rail line abuts the rear of these properties, and that they have a depth which allows the frontage to be maintained as mixed-use centre. So this staff haven't done an assessment to see what is felt as the minimum size lot for allowing for it to be split between highway commercial and mixed use. So this is just an anticipated area that this could apply to. It may need to be changed once that assessment's done by staff. So the public information meeting is required due to amendments to the municipal planning strategy to enable the applicant to continue with the proposal. There are amendments needed to the municipal planning strategy and land use bylaw, And if approved, these amendments would apply to other properties in the mixed-use centre zone. So this wouldn't just apply to the applicant's property. It would allow other properties as identified potentially on this map here that could also go through a potential development agreement. And just to show you where we are in the process, we're at the public information part of the process. And after that, the next stage would be first reading of the amendments. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Rachel. I'll now ask the applicant, Greg Burke, if he has any comments.
Yes, thank you. I guess I'll just go over a quick overview of what we're trying to develop here. A lot of you probably know we have self-storage company there now, Corridor Self-Storage. We've had it for 6 or 7 years. And it's only got 11 units in it. We constantly get calls quite often. We're full all the time. So this is kind of something we thought would really be, as the community grows. I mean, there's only one location that I'm aware of right now in East Hants that would really help with storage of all the apartments that are going in and whatnot. So we're trying, and then we also want to clean up the lot. We have a lot of trailers back there and just make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Then we go into phase 2, which would be the mixed use center. We're proposing 6 apartments upstairs and then 3 commercial places down below. And then we would try to keep those rents, in line with what's affordable, keeping in mind the cost of the development, which we're really not into that yet, knowing what our costs will be. We're kind of in the preliminary stages. So, and then once we get that second stage done, we'll pave the entire area and make it look a lot better. So I think it would be really good for the community, and I think it's something we really need. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I would now ask if there's any public comments or questions for staff and the applicant. Is there anything from you, Julianne?
Can you hear me, Debbie?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yep. Nope. There's no questions on YouTube right now.
Okay.
And no questions through the Zoom chat function either.
Okay, is there any final comments, Rachel or Gregory Angela Burke, would you like to make?
No, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to just to say that if there are any members of the public watching tonight, there will be further opportunities for you to engage in the process. The questionnaire will be mailed out to property owners within 300 meters of the application site, and also public hearing is open to members of the public to provide comments or ask questions at that public hearing. So there are other opportunities if you decide that you want to kind of engage in that process. Thanks, Debbie.
And Greg, did you have a further? No.
No, I'm good, thank you. I think I've covered everything.
Okay, and if there's no further comments, I guess we can adjourn.
All right, thank you guys very much for
attending.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
And that's it.
That's it. Good.